And as I was like shitting in this Tupperware, I just felt so close to my dad, you know? I was like, America, and just...
Here's the show. It's very simple. It's just a bunch of funny people, and we're all telling true stories. She's a great storyteller. You guys will absolutely love her. She has her own one-woman show called Bad Bride. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Giulia Rozzi, everybody. Let her in it.
So I live in New York, and New York is gross and beautiful, as we all know, and I've experienced a lot of disgusting things there, such as one time I was eating pizza in a pizzeria, and as I was eating pizza, one of the ceiling tiles opened up, and a rat fell out of the ceiling, a living rat, and it wasn't one of those like cute rats with like the hat and the sass from Muppets Take Manhattan, you know? It was one of those rats that would have been like, all right, cool rat, you know, but it was just a nasty, like, syphilis-filled rat, and it, like, thump, like, fell on the ground, 20 pounds, whatever it was, like an infant, and it fell, and I just, without even thinking instinctually, I just jumped on the table, and then I threw my pizza at it, because that's what you do in an animal attack, so you give it food immediately. And then someone opened the door to walk into the pizzeria, and the rat was like such a city rat. It ran right out. It was like, I have a meeting on the Upper West Side, you know? It was just wearing like, you know, Manolo Blahniks and drinking a martini or whatever. And I said to the guy behind the counter, I go, hey, a rat just fell out of the ceiling. And he goes, that's New York for you. I was like, what? Like, why do we live here? But it's wonderful. So that happens. And then the other thing that happens when you live there for a while, not only do you get used to disgusting things, but you yourself kind of become a little grosser than most people in other parts of the country. Like, I've done some gross things, and the grossest thing I've ever done was about 8 years ago, and my toilet was broken in my apartment. And my boyfriend at the time went out to go get a plunger, and I couldn't wait because I had already had coffee, and I shat in a Tupperware. And a brand new Tupperware, hadn't been used before, and and as I was shitting over the Tupperware, I was standing over the tub, just, it was like I had drank the night before, it was just a mess, and yeah, everyone should hate me. And so I, shitting in this Tupperware, feeling so ashamed, and all I could think about was my parents were immigrants from Italy, and how my dad would always tell the story of how when he immigrated here, he was on a boat and he traveled all these miles and he had to poop in a bucket. And as I was like shitting in this Tupperware, I just felt so close to my dad, you know? I was like, America, and just, right? And so, and then when I realized what I had done, like after it was like a quart, like a big container, I put it in multiple trash bags to hide my shame, and then I shoved it in the garbage downstairs, and I buried it in there deep because I was terrified that a homeless person was gonna walk by and be like, cake, you know, and just, so I hid it in there, and then I went back upstairs and I sat on the couch just in silence, and like my boyfriend walks in, again, 5 minutes this all happened, with a plunger, and just sees my face, sees like the guilty puppy look, and is like, what did you do? And I was like, oh. So I am guilty of disgusting things, but nothing could have prepared me for what happened to me 2 years ago when I was getting off the subway and I was walking up the steps, and I just innocently grabbed onto the railing, and I felt something wet on my hand. And I looked down, and it was brown. And it was clumpy brown, and I thought to myself, oh, this is just a chocolate. Someone was eating a candy bar and just smeared it, right? That can't be what I thought it was. And I didn't want to react, right? I didn't want to, like, smell my hand right then and there and confirm or deny what was going on. Instead, what I wanted to do is I wanted to get out of the subway station, and I wanted to get to a bathroom where I could wash my hand and scrub my hand and cut off my fucking hand, right? That's what I wanted to do. And so instead of so I kind of walked out of the subway station like carrying an imaginary tray of drinks, right? Just doing this. But the smell had a mind of its own. The smell was like, oh, nah, bitch, you're gonna smell me now. And it's sort of like, do you remember in cartoons when a smell would personify into sort of like smoke, like a sexy lady smoky hand? It was like, do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Shit, it was shit! I mentioned I was in a subway station, right? And when the smell hit me, and I just sort of fell like Nancy Kerrigan, like, why? Just New York had just given me the most disgusting high five in the world, is what had just happened. And I was like, how on the railing? You know what? It wasn't on the like. How did that happen? Either somebody took off their pants and slid down the railing, right? Or somebody had diarrhea and they were doing jumping jacks on the platform. I don't know which one it was. All I know it was on my fucking hands. So I get out of the subway station and I'm kind of like walking like this and people are like dodging my hand. I'm like, it's not mine. Like I was just freaking out. And it's just there. And so I get to a bathroom and I wash my hands like 100 times. I put hand sanitizer. I just clean, like, baptizing myself in hand sanitizer. And I'm feeling slightly better as one can when they have to amputate their fingers. And then I did what you always do when anything happens to you. I immediately went on Facebook when I got home, right? And I just sort of casually posted like, oh my God, got shit in my hand on the subway today, okay? Very casual. It was like an off hour. It was like 4 p.m. You know, like, I didn't think anyone was gonna even see it. No big deal. I gotta say, if you ever wanna get a lot of validation and attention, write that you got shit on your hand on the subway. Like, the love and support that I got that day from my fake internet community, it melts my heart to this day. It was like, people were just freaking out. Like guys I had hooked up with who never text me back were like, are you okay? You know? Like all the cool kids from high school were like, we should have invited you to our party. Like people felt so bad. And like, this is the thing. I didn't even think it was a sympathy status, right? Like I didn't think that I was seeking out, because I hate sympathy statuses. Side note, anyone who posts one of those vague, like, hey guys, having a really hard day, and I'm not gonna tell you what it is, but thoughts and prayers would be appreciated. It's like, fuck you, okay? No, you do not get my thoughts and prayers unless I get specifics, you pathetic asshole. No, okay? I had to get shit in my hand to get over 100 likes, right? I had to work really hard for all those likes. So I'm feeling better because people are giving me attention, as that always feels good, and I'm feeling better. And then this one woman writes, as a mom, and I was like, what? What Facebook mom? What lady who, I don't even know what you look like because all of your photos are this baby. Like, who am I mad at right now? An adult or a baby with a sailor hat on, okay? What do you have to say? All you do is talk about being a mom. What do you want to say? She's like, as a mom, I don't really see what the big deal is. I mean, every time I change my baby, I get poop all over my hand. Everybody in the world agrees that is not the same thing, right? We all are in agreement, not the same. Adorable baby poop from a baby that you made, sweet. Shit hand from a stranger, kill yourself. Like, what? Throw yourself on the tracks and kill yourself. Not the same thing. Like, when you have a baby, right? Like, you give birth to the baby, you go change the baby, you go in changing a baby, being like, you know what, today I might get poop on my hand. You know, like, you know that as a casualty of being a parent. Also, if I had a baby and I got its poop on my hand, I'd be like, whatever, it's like my poop, you know? It's got like my personality. It's like, aw, this is just like my poop. You know, it's like cute, not the same thing. More importantly than all of that, what is this woman doing to her baby that every time she changes it, she gets shit all over her hand? It's a baby, not a puppet. Like, what are you... Call the Facebook police. Like, this woman is doing something horribly wrong to her baby. But here's the thing. maybe she had a point, you know? Maybe it's not a big deal. We've all had accidents. You know, I shared my accident earlier. Except here's the thing. When I had my accident, I had the human decency to do it in a Tupperware. You know? Like a goddamn lady. Thank you.